Okay, this is smelling really good over here. So let's drop those down in there. Okay, first things first, let's go over the ingredients. So I've got some chops here, and that's what's going to be put in the cast iron skillet with some olive oil and butter. Then we've got some shanks, and I've got some fillets here. And a lot of people, some people don't want their lamb fried, or they don't want it in the grease. So that's what this is here for, the shanks. I'm going to season those, and those are going to go in a 375-degree oven once those are seasoned real well, and we'll put those in the oven. We also have over here some thyme. You're going to need some rosemary. You're going to need some parsley, and this is mainly for garnish. We've got olive oil, salt and pepper, garlic, and you can use fresh garlic if you want and press it, but I just buy the already minced garlic. And then we've got your butter. So those are basically the ingredients. That's all you're going to need. So let's get started. Okay, first things first, let's go over some ingredients. So I have some chops here, nice good looking lamb chops. Then we have the shanks, and I've also filleted a little bit of lamb off the bone. This I will put in the skillet along with the chops, but the shanks are going to go in the oven, a 375-degree oven, because some people do not prefer to have fried lamb in grease or oil. So this is going to go in the oven and bake. We also have over here some thyme, which I'll chop up real nice and fine. We have some parsley, that's mostly for garnish. Then we have some rosemary leaves, and that's going to be dropped into the black cast iron skillet. We've got olive oil, salt and pepper, and you can use fresh garlic and mince it, but I buy the minced garlic in the jar. And then we've got your butter. What I'm going to do is salt and pepper the lamb. So we'll just get that on out of the way. Let it sit there while I start chopping the other ingredients up. Season that up. Some salt and pepper. And of course you're going to do both sides. Wash my hands real quick. So you're just going to salt and pepper everything. Let that set and rest for a little bit. Get some of that seasoning to soak down into the meat real good. And then while that's resting with the salt and pepper, now I'm going to chop up the thyme. Get that chopped up real nice. That's going to go into actually the butter. Okay, so I've chopped up the thyme and the parsley. Now the rosemary you're going to leave whole. And so over here I've got a stick of butter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the thyme in with the butter. Just slide that on in there. And then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons, good heaping tablespoons of garlic in there. Okay. Let me turn that fire down a little. You want it on like a low to medium heat. It doesn't have to be too high. I'm just going to let that simmer. Let that get nice and infused with the thyme. And while that's doing that, over here in the cast iron skillet, I have about 1.5 to 2 inches, just enough to cover the bottom real good. Butter, a half a stick of butter with olive oil. Get that real nice and heated. Get that melted, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the rosemary and you're just going to drop the rosemary in there, okay? And what's going to happen is all that is going to get infused, rosemary is going to get infused into the juices. You're going to also add another tablespoon of garlic in with that. I don't know, let's put in a tablespoon and a half. I love garlic, especially garlic butter. It's good stuff. Get that in there, and we're going to let that kind of simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we'll add the chops. Okay, so the skillet's getting hot and ready for the lamb chops. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the shanks. I've got some olive oil here. This is the brand I get, and what I'm going to do is just drizzle some olive oil over that. Rub that down real good, both sides. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a half a stick of butter, and I'm just going to lay it in here. The oven's going to melt it. I'm going to put some garlic in here. Just kind of drizzle some garlic over it. And then I guess about 30 minutes later, after it's been in the oven for about 30 minutes, you're going to pull it out. And you're just going to kind of baste it with the garlic butter. So let me go ahead and just pop that in the oven. Got that going. Wash my hands real quick. Okay, so now the skillet is nice and hot. We've got our baste over here going. And that's the thyme and the butter and the garlic. So now let's put our chops and our fillets in there. Okay, this is smelling really good over here. So let's drop those down in there. They get to sizzling real good. Cook those real good. They're going to be about 5 minutes each side. You can sometimes lean them on the side if you want to get the sides really cooked good. But we're going to let this simmer in here for about 5 minutes, and we'll come back. So these have been simmering for about 5 to 8 minutes. I'm going to flip them, and what we're going to do next is we're going to start basting them really good with this butter that's got thyme in it. So let's go ahead and add some of the baste to it. Just really baste them really good. And you've got it on about a medium to high heat. Ooh, you can smell the rosemary and thyme. Makes you think about that song we grew up with, what, that parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Let that go. We're going to let that go for about 10 minutes, okay? And then we'll come back. Okay, so I flipped them again, and now I'm going to just drizzle the rest of the garlic butter and thyme over the other side, and then once this is finished in about 10 minutes, they'll be ready to come off the skillet onto the platter, ready to eat.